Hello students, I am Dr. Joshi Datto. I welcome you to the e-learning center of Balurghat Mahila Mahavidyalaya. Today's topic of discussion is restoration drama. This topic is being selected for my second semester students, Department of English. So restoration drama, from the name of the title, you can understand that this kind of writing was prevalent during the restoration period. So restoration period started in the year 1660. which acted as a landmark year for both political and the literary side. Politically, Charles II, the rightful heir to the British monarchy, was restored to the British throne, and Charles II in turn restored the British theatre through restoration drama into the lives of the audience in the same year 1660. This means 1642 is the year when English theatre was totally banned under the Puritan rule, and Charles II reopened the theatres in the year 1660. So this year becomes a landmark year. Now, restoration drama started from 1660 and ranges till 1710. It is divided in two divisions. One, the heroic tragedy, which existed somehow in the hands of John Dryden, and next is restoration comedy, which is of more prominence than the heroic tragedy. Restoration comedy is better nomenclatured as comedy of manners. Comedy of manners has a few practitioners, of course. Those names will be taken up at the later stage of this lecture. Now, restoration comedy of manners has two basic words, comedy and manners. Comedy involves wit, laughter, humor, comic elements, and manners means the method or the way in which we perform our everyday activities. Hence, it can be said that this kind of writing is a commentary on a manner of a specific class of people. Here, the writers of the restoration comedy or the writers of the comedy of manners were targeting the deliberately cultured upper class ethos of the then Londoners. Now, for this lecture is being addressed for a better understanding or an holistic understanding of the restoration comedy, whereby you can contextualize William Congreve, the author, as well as the text, his text, The Way of the World, the one that is prescribed in your syllabus. Very well. So, to provide this holistic approach of the restoration comedy, I have divided this lecture into few segments. So, the flowchart of the lecture goes as, they will do the influences on the comedy of manners, we'll take up the objectives, we'll discuss about certain comic techniques and its characteristics very briefly, and of course while we are going through the journey of the restoration comedy, we will discuss about some outstanding moments in the journey, we will talk about its practitioners, and the lecture will conclude with the decline of the restoration comedy. So let's begin with the influences now. So when we are talking about the influence, one has to keep in mind that no age stands alone, and neither does the preceding age maintains a watertight compartment with the following age. Rather, the preceding age or the predecessors in ages exert a deep influence into the following age. Similarly, the Elizabethan strain was much felt during this restoration period, where Ben Jonson was the strongest influence beside Beaumont and Fletcher. Secondly, restoration writers also admired and imitated French wit and French lifestyle, where Molière was enormously influential for plot materials. We have to keep in mind that Charles II, when he was exiled out of England, he spent most of his years in France. So when he returned from France to England, he brought with him the the casual lifestyle of the French people. The final and the most important influence on the comedy was patronage of the court. Since the manners of the court were highly corrupt, so the comedy that they patronize has to be very hard and immoral. Now I come to the objective. So what was the objective? Why were these writers writing such plays? Before I go into the objective of the writers of the Comedy of Manners, let's look over a general objective of literature. What should be or is the purpose of literature? Dramatists and critics all over the world agreed alike that moral instruction through social criticism should be or is the aim of literature. But Restoration writings or Comedy of Manners, for them, laughter or entertainment was the only objective, not moral improvement at all. Since, as I told you, the patronizers were corrupt, hence the comedy they patronize has to be of their likings, so they were as hard and cynical as immoral. Now, some techniques they were using, some innovative techniques they were using to bring out the wit, the cynicism in their writings. The first technique was they are doubling the plot, or sometimes you will find tripling the plot as well. Seldom is there any perfect unity of action. Sometimes one may find to a variable, a vaguely observed extent, unity of place and time, but unity of action is a very rare thing. These comedies are always in prose. They are imbued with witty statements, but they are always in prose and they are realistic. They are not idealistic, since they are not walking towards moral atonement. So naturally the idealism does not come, but they are neither romanticism as well. So they are realistic, means as the society becomes visible in front of their eyes, the mirror image is being projected into their writings. It is very rich, as I told you, in wit and satire. The hero and heroine, they are elaborately dressed, and they are self-possessed and very witty. They engage in witty dialects, they exchange witty dialogues. One thing that should be taken note of here is that in majority of the plays, the hero and the heroine, when they are projected, the heroine gets more important and more interesting projection than the hero. The writers of the Comedy of Manners gave more importance to wit, to dialogue, to polishness of their dialogues, rather than to the plot construction. That is the reason why unity of action is a rare thing. And the perfect epitome of the Comedy of Manners is the Way of the World by William Congreve, the text that is prescribed in your syllabus. When I was discussing about the comic techniques and the brief characteristics of Comedy of Manners, I have reiterated the point of unity of action, place and time. This unity of action, place and time is referring to the three unities by Aristotle. Now, since we are talking about the journey of the of the Restoration comedy or the Comedy of Manners from 1660 to the decline, that is till 1710. So in this whole journey, there are two pinnacles of success. If I could show you a graph, that means a one straight line, then a peak, and then again the straight line, then another peak, and then the decline comes. So this peak of success marks the two outstanding moments in Restoration comedy. What are they? They are 1668 to 76 and 1693 to 1707. The question that might come to your mind at this point is, if 1668 to 76 is the first peak of success is observed, then what was happening to the prior years? Yes, this is a very valid question. Prior years was reserved for experimentation of novelties. The writers around that time, they were experimenting with new features, and also side by side they were reviving the old plays. This first peak of success, that is the duration of 1668 to 76, was taken up by Sir George Etheredge and William Wycherley. These two writers took the romantic comedy, the Restoration Comedy or the Comedy of Manners to a first peak of success. So George Etheredge wrote The Comical Revenge on Love in a Tub, She Would If She Could, The Man of Mode or Sir Fopling Flutter. William Wycherley is best known for his plays The Country Wife and The Plain Tailor. Before the arrival of the second peak of success, there was a plain land. That means the line in the graph would go plain, straight. That means this period is called the period of mediocrity or the plateau of mediocrity. No such successful productions did come out during this tenure. And one point should be taken into consideration, that the second peak of success was a much higher, which saw the contribution from William Congreve, Vanberg and Farquhar. Now, William Congreve wrote works like The Old Bachelor, The Double Dealer, Love for Love, The Mourning Bride, and most importantly, or the epitome of the Comedy of Manners, is The Way of the World. The Provoked Wife by Vanberg and Farquhar's The Beaux Stratagem was also of noted contribution. So after this Farquhar and Vanberg, the Comedy of Manners marks a steep decline. Some critics noted some reasons why the Comedy of Manners declined so very fast. Some of them are: the decline was marked by the publication of Jeremy Collier's pamphlet, a pamphlet written by Jeremy Collier, which is entitled as A Short View of the Immortality and Profaneness of the English Stage, which was published in the year 1698. What was in that pamphlet? That pamphlet most objected was profanity in English stage and profanity in dialogue as well. Unfavorable presentations of clergymen. Popular plays of the time encourages immortality. That means the play were encouraging immortality. Comedy should correct vice, not promote it. So these were the objections that came from Jeremy Collier in his pamphlet, and which acted as a very major cause for the decline of the Comedy of Manners. The second blow came from the denouncement of theatre by the newly founded Society for the Reformation of Manners. Third, by Glorious Revolution, when William and Mary of Orange ascended to the throne of England, their dislike for theatre added a final blow to the Comedy of Manners. So, besides all the disadvantages or the shortcomings, this Comedy of Manners stand as the signature genre of the Restoration literature. Restoration literature, like any other age, is an umbrella term which includes so many kind of writings, right? Like poem, poetries, novels, historical writings, pamphlets, diaries, essays, travelogues, and drama. Among all these, his comedy of manners becomes the signature genre of Restoration literature. So, in a nutshell, the Restoration thus begins with George Etheredge and reaches its culmination in the work of Sir William Congreve, to be more specific, in his The Way of the World. Later, this Restoration comedy gradually gave way to sentimental comedy that has already started its journey around the beginning of the 18th century. This is all for today. This lecture was intended to give you an overview or a holistic approach towards the Restoration comedy or comedy of manners. From next lecture, I shall be taking up in specific topics from the text that is prescribed in your syllabus, The Way of the World. So goodbye for now. Stay home, stay safe, and keep studying.